What's up guys, Nolan here, and today we're talking about Arena and the economy that might be affected because of it. We all should know by now that Arena is coming soon and what it is, but in case you don't, Arena is the answer to your PvP desires in Escape from Tarkov. It is very straightforward with small maps, new/different netcode, new economy, while it should be about the same combat, if not exactly the same combat that we find in the base game. For more on Arena, I'll have all of my news videos that cover it in the description, but it really is straightforward what's expected of it and how it will work. In the background here, you'll see some screenshots from BSG for it, as well as the trailer. In general, a public test of Arena is expected to be available at some point this year, possibly before next wipe, but full release for Arena is unknown at this time. Now, what I wanted to bring up today was the economy. Nikita recently said there will be crossovers between the base game and Arena, but Arena will have a separate economy from the base game. He also mentioned that the gear that you have in the base game can somehow be used in Arena. Without knowing the specifics, I'm going to theorize what might happen, and I want to hear what you guys think about it, as well as whether or not it would be a good or a bad thing. First things first, the capabilities. I don't think there's any gear in the base game that won't be available in Arena. It looks and seems to be all there. So going forward, we're assuming everything is there to unlock. Next is the unlock setup. When we look at the screenshots, there's no level shown. There's ratings, and what we see is multiple currencies. There's GLP and rubles. GLP is interesting, and maybe it makes sense to you guys that play a lot of ranked games, but it's weird to me. I never played Valorant or apparently Apex Legends or CSGO. So I asked Trey24K while he was live, and he got the chat involved. So we now think it is linked to ELO, or the rating system in general for players. So it's possible that your rank is based off of the maximum that you have achieved, and if you run out, since it does say GLP left there, then that's when you lose ranking. I am absolutely no expert here, so please educate me in the comments on what the possibilities would be here for the GLP if it's not that, including the ratio shown. However, for the ratio shown, the SO and TF in that ratio is team fight and tournament, because we can see that in another shot. I don't know what the extent of that would include, but it does not seem to affect the loadouts that you have available to you. I see no mention of unlocks or progression at all here, but what is possible is that since this is a ranked mode, everything is unlocked and the same for everyone, while the only thing that matters is your ability, which would make complete sense in a proper competitive ranked system. Now, there is one outlier here though. Why do rubles even have any effect here whatsoever if that is the case? So why would everything be unlocked and you're looking for everybody to be on the same page and then have a currency where you then need to use those loadouts or purchase those loadouts? That is weird to me. Even though it is so cheap, it is still weird that you even have that as a possibility. Why not just be able to use whatever you want to use? So again, bit weird there. So that leaves us in the dark a bit about how the economy will work exactly in Arena, and I think that is hidden behind the unranked mode here, where you're going to level up and earn the loadouts like Nikita has mentioned in the past. I did want to address that though, so people don't get confused and they understand what we do and don't know right now, because when it comes to how the Arena economy will affect the base game economy, we know very little specifics. But again, we do know that they will cross over. There will be things that you can take from the base game and use it in Arena, as well as earn in Arena and use in the base game. But if you don't own the base game, if you only play Arena, then you're going to be in your own little ecosystem and be able to unlock whatever it is you want to unlock to do whatever it is you want to do in Arena. So when thinking about the state of the game, and you guys might already know, I've been doing a lot of these videos where I talk about the ecosystem of the game lately. When thinking about that, I took Arena into account for the economy and what effects that might have, and I've come up with a theory here that is actually really important. And I want to know whether this would be a good or a bad thing, as in my mind, this kind of seems likely that this is going to happen, because it connects a lot of dots in my mind about the bigger scale of the economy and just the game in general. So what if Arena is the end of quote-unquote rats in Escape from Tarkov? What if on day one of a wipe, you can go to the Arena, earn a ton of rubles to the point where you won't need to do any pistol runs or scav runs that are purely to make money? Maybe in Arena there will be a base kit or some very cheap kit where you go and you make a couple million rubles by skimming along the bottom just using that. Hell, maybe there's a melee only game mode or something. Then you transfer it, whether it be in the form of a token that you sell to a trader for straight up rubles, or you just straight up trade the rubles to the base game, then buy the best stuff that you can at that level, in this case it'd be level 1, from the traders that you have available in the base game, and then go from there. And this can be repeated at any point in time. You could be level 1 or you could be level 50. And in the base game, if you run out of money, you could just go play Arena, where you could have that ability to play the way that you want to play and make more money, then transfer it to the base game. Then, while in the open world, you only loot what you need and you only pursue what you want exactly. Money isn't an issue, and the preferred way to get it involves you playing into an ecosystem exactly as intended. Because there are things that pop pop up that BSG weren't planning for. Again, I use the case of hatchet running. Hatchet running was completely a community construct. When it happened, it created waves in the economy because so many people were going out there and not wasting money or not using money while getting killed by other players, where the bullets that they were using to kill you meant that they lost out on that fight, but they did need to kill you or else you would have killed them. BSG never thought that that would be a thing. Why would you want to not bring gear into a raid? It'll make it super difficult. You're going to have to kill things with your hatchet or your knife or your melee weapon, whatever it might be. So that was an oversight on their part. And generally speaking, I think that there's a lot of the economy that is also an oversight on their part. And it comes down to the difficulty and the problems that can pop up in game. It's the desync. It's the unluckiness of you going left when you should have gone right. It's the dying to cheaters. It's the stuff that drags on you and loses your money in a way that wasn't intended. So then you turn to ways that aren't intended for the ecosystem of the game to try and make that money back. So you turn to the minimalist runs where you use a pistol, an SKS, a Mosin maybe, sometimes whatever in your mind might be low gear so that you can quickly go in there, fill up your secure container, and then get out. That is not intended for the ecosystem. And the same goes for scavs. So many people use their scavs as free loot when it should be free gear that you use to pursue other players and take their gear. Now, at the same time, you shouldn't be limited. You should be able to play the way that you want to play. And if this theory is correct, that would allow you to do that. Because in theory here, if it works this way, this might be the answer to any problems that we have around the economy and risk to your gear. This might eliminate gear fear in Escape from Tarkov. Maybe I'm wrong or maybe I'm missing something, but if there is going to be a way for you to transfer rubles from Arena to the base game, I think this is the outcome. And I think it might be good. I think BSG are planning it this way. Because why would you do a pistol or a scav run only to make money and possibly fail when you can go to Arena where you'll have access to probably a full gear set that you'd probably even be saving up for when you're doing that money run to just play and have a guaranteed amount of money to earn, win or lose. This is also assuming the system involves some kind of kickback after losing. Potentially there's that melee only mode where you can just make money. Either way, you are being put into a better position to do well, and at every point you're doing what the ecosystem is intending you to do, which is healthy for the game. So no, obviously pistol runs and the desire to make more money won't go anywhere because sometimes they are fun. But I think what goes away is the need to do those things when you're just trying to play. It's those days where you die 6 times in a row, early wipe, and go to a pistol or maybe quit for the day. Now turns into you just go and play Arena for a little while where you contribute exactly as intended, while of course still being there to contribute in the first place in case you were going to quit before. What the ecosystem might end up looking like in this, which is why I think this is good, in this case, this is when you're in Arena and trying to make money, you have a full set of gear and are there fighting everybody else that is there to fight in that certain way. And this is again because there's going to be game modes where there's like pistol only or shotgun only and stuff like that. Then when you're playing your scav, you don't need to worry as much about money while you legitimately scavenge for things that you need and potentially push fights more often. I will admit the incentive to push fights will still need to work out a little bit there. And if you have something that you really want on you, of course you're still going for the extract. I'm not talking about those situations. I'm saying purely just playing raids to make money might become a thing of the past. And that's actually really important because it's those situations where you have a piece of loot or something in particular on you that you really want to keep and you really want to survive that raid when you have the most memorable moments, because of course that's when you run into a boss. That's when you run into a squad of players. That's when you have the best fights and that's when it's the most memorable moments again. So it's super important that those situations don't go anywhere. And if things were to work this way, they wouldn't. Those would still be a thing and it would cut down on when you're at the worst of the worst times, you're really down on your luck, you have no money left, you have no choice but to play that way and you still end up losing. I think that's removed in this case and I think that's a very good thing. If this was the case, I think this puts the ecosystem of the game right where it was intended to be. More PMCs have full gear because they don't need to worry about money as much. More scavs push fights because they see it as free gear instead of free just loot as most do now. Although this might have bad side effects, I can't think of them right now, and I think this is something ultimately very good for the game, but I have gained a reputation for being a clown sometimes, so let me know what you guys think, whether it be in the comments, Twitter, or Discord. You'll find all of that below. But that's all for now, guys. If you like this video, there's a button for that. Subscribe for more like it. Squad Sherpa program real soon in the Discord. Join up and stay tuned to get involved. If you like what I do with Tarkov, chances are you'll like what I do with other games, so check those out right here. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.